Welcome back, everybody, to the Health in the Hills podcast, sponsored by the Pike County Health Department. I'm Jeff Vanderbeck, publisher of the Appalachian News Express and many other newspapers throughout the area. As always, it's really important to talk about what's going on health-wise in our community. We just had this massive outbreak with lettuce and all kind of nonsense, and who to trust, who not to trust. We had some expert information from the Pike County Health Department and some other folks in our region. Today, we're not here to talk about that particularly, but we are here to talk about being healthy in the hills, because that's what we're all about. I'm joined today by, once again, Tammy Riley, who wears many hats, and if she can, she runs all the time. She's running around town, run. So we have to stop her and put a corral on her to talk about what we got going on today. And then I have another special guest today, David Walker. He's the president of the Pikeville Farmers Market, and if you saw on the News Express about a week or so ago, his family was featured on the front page of the paper because they won a legacy award. The family farm goes back a very long time. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the farmers market, what's great, kids' bucks at the farmers market, all the things that David's doing, all the great things that Tammy's doing, all the great things that the health department is doing in partnership with the YMCA and the farmers market and all that stuff. So welcome, guys. Tammy, welcome back.
Thank
David,
you.
welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, Tammy,
Yep.
we want to talk about Ignite Pike and the Community Wellness Hub. Tell me
Right.
about that. What is that?
Well, I wanted to talk about Ignite Pike today because for two primary reasons. Number one, it's a new program embedded at the Pike County Health Department to address chronic disease. Specifically, it's a community wellness hub model program, which means that it's mobile. We'll be taking it out into the community. And for the first year or so, we're going to primarily focus on obesity and diabetes. And so it's a new program. And then I also wanted to talk about Unite Pike today, or not Unite Pike, sorry, Ignite Pike. I'm heavily involved with Unite Pike too. But Ignite Pike, because we partnered with the Pikeville Farmers Market. So it just
Yeah.
seemed like a natural partnership. We already attended frequently the farmers
Sure.
markets. And they're all about, fruits and vegetables and locally sourced food. And we were wanting to talk to them, reach community members interested in knowing more about healthy eating, eating more fruits and vegetables, also activities and getting out and exercising. There's a lot to Ignite Pike. We can we'll likely do a podcast in the future just to talk about that program. But David and I were talking at the Pikeville Farmers Market, and I said, why don't you come on the podcast and let's talk about the partnership and talk about, what's happening at the farmers market. There's a lot going on there,
Sure.
and no better time than the present with this, cyclosporiasis outbreak in the United States. And many people are talking about like their fruits and vegetables and where they're sourced. And I think people are more aware of that right now than they have been in many years. And we've always said, know where what you're putting in your body, where it comes from, and that's what the farmers market's all about.
Yeah, I think that's a really important process. So Ignite Pike is a county-wide program.
Yes.
It's based upon you doing community health worker navigation
Yep.
information, A1C testing.
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, last weekend when I was at the farmers market, I spoke to David, and I think I met one of your family members, and the health department was there doing the screenings and
Yep.
handing out goodies and those kind of things. And
That's correct.
you do a BMI, body mass index screening.
Yes, the body
And
mass
those
index.
are really important too, because we want to make sure how much fat we're creating.
That's right. It's not just about weight or percentage of fat. It's a measurement that takes the ratio of several factors: height, weight, gender, and things of that nature. Um, when you look at Pike County and in these 5 eastern big Sandy area development counties, what I know is that 1 in 4 Pike Countyans in the Big Sandy Ad District, as a whole, are diabetic adults. That's based on the Cabinet for Health and Family Services 2023 diabetes report. 1 in 4 Pike Countyans are diabetic. Those are adults. 41% of our adults meet the body mass index rate considered to be in, obese.
Danger. Yeah.
Yep, obese. So we needed to address it. It's not that we're going to take evidence-based programs like the diabetes prevention program and throw it out the window.
Sure.
But that's a year-long program. You have to attend once a week for an entire year. You have to come to us. It's difficult to navigate. It's effective. It works. But if people can't get to it and they don't have the time or the commitment level to be able to do that, and Ignite is a mobile unit where we're going to take these types of services. For example, I don't want to miss anything. The program will be embedded with community health workers certified. So they help people navigate the complex healthcare system and find where resources are. We're going to screen for A1Cs that determines, that's one tool that, for a diagnosis of diabetes, assess your body mass index. We're going to have weekly walking groups. That's a partnership with local parks as well as the YMCA, incentives and rewards. I'm also working on getting WIC
Yeah.
available on the mobile unit. So I have a meeting early next week to determine what I need to have in place so that we can issue these cards like on site. So we can attend the farmers market, hopefully hand them their card, so that they can utilize them that day. Go to neighborhoods, communities, apartment complexes. Take this community wellness hub called Ignite Pike to the people where they are. So I'm working on a number of things. We're going to do cooking classes. So I'm working on a mobile kitchen. So we can hopefully, I would love to see this happen, David, by next year, when you launch in the spring. But like purchase your squash or whatever's available. You tell me like what you normally are having that time of year, and we'll plan healthy meals around it. Cook it there on site. People can use their benefits or purchase the
Sure.
produce or
Right there.
right there, and they walk away knowing how to utilize that fruit, that
The fruit or
vegetable.
vegetable. Yeah. I
Whether
think
it's squash or beets. You were selling
Yeah.
beets last week, and I'm like, I'll be honest, I've never, I cook a lot too, and I've never like taken a fresh. I love pickled beets in a jar that I buy at the store, but I've never.
You can't beat a beat.
You can't beat a beet. And I just never. So if someone showed me, I'd be like, oh, and I'm sure I would buy it and use it.
Well, beets are so good. They're great for heart and blood and all kind of neat things.
They are good for you. I knew that.
And I think I missed them when I was there last week. But if they're there this week, tomorrow, Saturday when I go, I'll get them because I love fresh beets.
We will see.
So, David, your family's been in the farming business for many years.
Yes, I've got I think 1830, the Walker family came into Lower Johns Creek. Property's been in the family pretty much ever since, and it's been used in farming one aspect or another.
Sure. And what do you farm most of?
Well, down there, we plant a lot of the fall stuff. We plant corn to eat, stuff that you don't have to be with it every day.
Sure.
Like over at Hardy, we plant several different types of heirloom beans, corn there too, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and a lot of that type of stuff.
Sure.
Butternut squash, just
Right.
some more things that's got to be more attentive.
Yeah, you've got, if I'm not mistaken, I think you've got some pumpkins and gourds and stuff.
Yeah, we sell all that in the fall.
And I remember I bought a bunch of that from you last year, and my wife and I had them, and we used them as display. And then when we're done, we made pumpkin pies out of them, and I cleaned the seeds, ate the seeds out of them, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because that time of the year, I've got a bunch of deer that come around my house, and if I throw a whole gourd or a pumpkin out there, they'll use their hoof and
bust it and eat the seeds out of it.
Yeah, so it's a cheap entertainment for us.
Yeah.
And you're also the president of the Pikeville Farmers Market.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about the farmers market. Why are you the president? What incentivized you to do that? What value does it bring to the community and you personally?
I've done this. This is my second time being president. 2-year spans. I've done it once before. We try to help everyone. We try to help the vendors. We try to help the customers with anything that we can. We've went out this year and got a few other things that we're going to start, what we're doing now, and another one will get started hopefully next weekend.
Sure.
I enjoy dealing with the people. Tammy, so we see you guys all the time. Come by the market. We're always talking to people.
Sure.
And you never, sometimes it's just amazing what people come up and start talking to you about. And that's one of the things I like about selling at the market.
Sure.
It's fun. It's interesting.
When people are coming to the market, are they coming there for a specific thing, or are they coming just to see what you've got this week? And
Some people, they come for specific things. Some people, you can ask them, I said, we're just looking around and seeing what hits our fancy for dinner this
Right.
morning.
And how did the partnership between Ignite Pike and the farmers market work together? What was the collaboration, and what's the ultimate goal for this project?
Well, I was Ignite Pike, it's in soft launch stage currently. So there's several, like the Wick on Wheels or the mobile wick, the mobile kitchen for cooking.
Sure.
That's not launched yet. So it's in the infancy
Right.
stage, to say the least. And we already had the partnership with Farmers Market. We were already there
Right.
very frequently. There's the Wick collaboration with the Wick dollars. There's just like a lot of overlap. It's healthy food, and we promote healthy food, and knowing where your food's sourced and things of that nature. So, and when I was looking to soft launch it, because the mobile unit is going to go out into the community and be in multiple
Sure.
sites, but I wanted to start with a trusted local partner, someone that the partnership was already established, so I didn't have to go in and they didn't know who I was or I didn't know who they were. So it was it just happened very naturally. We will stick with the farmers market, but definitely the plans are to expand. Yeah, and go to other areas where we can promote the farmers market in places where they might not be able
to
get there, and then look at how we might be able to expand that in the future.
I think that's a great. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to tell a quick story about her workers. The first day they came, wasn't many people that Tuesday, and one guy comes by and they were talking to him about stopping smoking.
Right.
And then, like 2 days later, he called the health department and asked for him and asked for resources and what that he could do to stop smoking. So right there's one person they reached, and today they didn't talk to very many, but they touched one person.
Made a difference with that one person.
And hopefully he follows through and can
Sure.
stop it.
The beautiful thing about that, we've talked about smoking cessation and healthy lifestyle living, and people don't know the power that they have to be able to change what they're doing. It's so easy to sit down and eat a bag of chips while you're watching Jeopardy at 7:30 at night. But the hard part is to change your lifestyle. So for instance, when, my goal when I go to the farmer's market, like you mentioned it earlier, what am I going to make for dinner tonight? What unique thing is out there? And I'll just pick up stuff and I'll say, okay, this is what I've got. These are the elements I've got. What's my protein? What's going to go with it? And what am I going to make for dinner? And now that bag of chips isn't so appetizing because I'm going to create something that I know I've done.
That's right.
Now, most of the times it comes out okay, but a lot of times my dog wouldn't eat it because I just screwed it up so bad.
It's still fun though,
But
isn't
it's
it?
fun.
It's fun.
And it's a learning experience. You mentioned, Tammy, on something very interesting, and David, we talked about something a few minutes ago. Local source, know where your food is coming from.
Yeah.
Tell me about the parameters that the farmers market has for local food and local vendors.
One of the things we do, it's best practices training. Every vendor takes this, and it's food safety training. It's about an hour and a half long. You got to do a test at the end, and that's one of the requirements to be a vendor. Some places don't follow that, but that is something we implement every year. Everybody gets trained, so hopefully it'll get beat in their head eventually.
Right.
You know
Sure.
what I'm saying?
And we encourage everyone, the health department, the farmers market, and their vendors, to thoroughly wash, your produce.
Even before the cyclosporosis.
We've
breakdown.
said that for many, many years, right?
And then the other one is, and I know people don't, we don't, cantaloupes, anything with a rough skin to it, because stuff can get in those little crevices and crooks and crannies. And even though you just take something to wipe it off, all you done was wipe the surface. But when you look at it, it's all down in it.
Yeah.
Well, we did a podcast on cleaning your kitchen and knives and utensils.
Jackie addressed
And
that.
Jackie, yeah, and I went home and I had a cantaloupe and it had a little bit of dirt in it. I'm like, dirt never kills anybody. And I cut my knife went through it, and I looked at my blade, and there was dirt from the outside of the skin of the
Went on the
blade.
inside.
Went on the inside. If it's on the outside, it's going on the inside. So I had to change my blade, clean everything up, and then I had to scoop it out. And cantaloupe is so good for it, such a healthy food. But I don't know what was in that. It could have been a pesticide. It could have been,
That's right.
a fly might have been around cow dung, and I would have eaten the cow dung, which a lot of people would probably wish I do more often. But that's a whole other story. But so everybody that is there now, talk about some of the types of products we can get there. You can get fresh baked goods.
You can now. We've got 3 bread bakers. One of them just had a baby. I think it was
She did.
Tuesday.
Haley, she had a baby
Yeah.
Tuesday. And she does sourdough.
She does
She
sourdough.
does sourdough chocolate chip cookies, though.
Yes.
They're killer.
They
She's
are
not
good.
gonna have them. I mean, I told her husband, I said, listen, it's because of you. I can't get you sourdough chocolate chip cookies for at least 6 months, or 6 weeks.
Thank you.
So, but so there's them, and then
We also have a lady that used to be in on the gluten-free Laura Lee Nichols. There used to be a gluten-free food truck
Yeah.
that she makes gluten-free items. She made chicken and dumplings gluten-free the other day. They sold out, just bam.
yeah,
Michelle Swords does some vegan
Yeah.
top stuff.
sure.
Uh,
And she has the little cookies. I don't know what they are, but they're just absolutely phenomenal. My wife and I, we love them. I bought the last box that she had. There's only 3 to a container,
Shell stuff's good.
and we ate those. And
but
that's-
people think if somebody's making this, they can't have it. But now we're getting 2 or 3 people that's getting their own thing going in a different direction to cater to people.
Right.
with
that-
special dietary needs.
that has something special.
Sure.
We have 2 or 3 honey vendors.
Right.
We've got some people that make snacks, dessert type things.
Sure.
Another lady, her first time at the market will be Saturday or tomorrow. She just work and stuff she couldn't, but now it's whatever she was doing is cleared up, so she can start coming. I know she was talking about doing some desserts and some scones and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
And there's also sometimes you have some crafts there.
Yes, we do have craft people, fresh eggs.
Right. Oh yeah, those are good.
2 or 3 people have eggs, crafts. We had last weekend, I'm trying to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there were 7 or 8 produce people there.
Right.
It was a good crowd.
So
there
we're
Saturday.
getting in, and I'll lead into this from that. Last weekend was one of our kids' bucks.
I was
days.
just going to ask you about that. I got there a little late, and the event was just over. So tell me about the kid buck.
The
kids
Kid
bucks.
Bucks, we received a grant. We applied for a grant to help with kids' nutrition. And one of the other things that we directed this toward was grandparents raising grandkids, which is a bigger
Sure.
issue anywhere now. You can pick any state. It's not just here, any state. Those people, every Saturday, I'll give them $10 in tokens. They're little $2 tokens. I'll give them $10 a kid. And then we have a kids day for everyone. It's 1 day a month. And that day, any kid gets $6 to spend.
Sure.
They go pick out what they want. August, we'll announce them. If they'll watch the Farmers Market website, we'll get the dates. There's one in August to be back to the farm.
So tell me, what does that mean?
Well, they're just going to have they're going to bring a couple of chickens. We're going to have some little baby goats.
Okay.
Just some stuff like
So
that.
live
out.
animals.
Yeah, so people can see them.
Sure.
We're going to get the milking. There's a wooden milking goat from the Floyd County Extension Office that's got a bucket and udders, and kids can try to milk, just like a cow. That was a hit before. We've had it
Right.
there. They're going to have some games and other stuff set up for that day. And again, every kid, if they're 2 weeks old to 17, they get $6 to spend.
And they can spend that on anything.
Yeah,
want.
they fruit
everything-
and vegetable.
Yeah, and everything they get there is going to be healthy item,
Yeah,
which could be
that's right.
potentially thwarting or circumventing the part of the 41% of the people with the high body mass index, or the 1 in 4 Pike Countyans who have diabetes because we're eating crappy food.
And it's a cultural, honestly, it's a cultural issue. A colleague of mine, as part of the Mountain Wellness Collaborative, said this, and I've been quoting him since, that chronic disease here in Eastern Kentucky, anyways, chronic disease is a cultural issue with medical symptoms. And that's so true. We've got to, start teaching them young. I took Lily, one of my younger children, to the farmer's market Saturday. We ran. I had my jogging stroller, so she went on a run, and David gave her 3. She was so tickled to get those wooden chips. I
The
think
wood
you might have
chips.
one here with you
We
today.
do.
They're really cool looking. She took them around and she picked out peaches and green beans. And so I sent her home with the peaches, and I cooked the green beans for Sunday dinner. And so they came over for Sunday dinner, and I was telling David, she was grabbing them with both hands and like eating them. We just let her go. But you've got to start teaching them
At a
young.
young age, because
Yeah.
that's, and get them involved.
It's really important.
Tell me what those what that is you holding there.
On one side, it says $2 kids bucks.
Right.
The back, it has the Pikeville Farmers Market. And one of our vendors actually made these for us.
Nice.
Wood and whisk. They do engraving and stuff on wood. I looked at the prices to order them. And time we got them shipped and changes, if he changed it, he come out to be cheaper, and we would rather spend it local with
Locally.
somebody that's our
Yeah.
vendor versus ordering it from who knows where.
Yeah,
you're
right,
ordering it from
exactly.
the
You know, it's, you hit on a very interesting point. We talk about locally sourced food. We talk about local,
Mhm.
buying, knowing where your food comes from, and you talk about using local vendors for things. It's a lot of times, a lot of people, they say, oh well, I went to Facebook and I got it, and or I advertise on Facebook or do whatever, and I say to customers, I says, here's the thing, you got to support everybody locally.
Yep.
Because you could have went to Amazon and got those done,
Yeah.
and did that. But what you did for your local vendor, you supported a local economy based upon some stuff, and I think that's really important. And what happens when we go and buy beets and lettuces and vegetables and peaches and melons and fruits and fresh flowers and honey and uh, those damn sourdough chocolate chip cookies I can't get enough of. I can't. Thanks, Haley, for getting pregnant and having a baby. I can't have any.
He
Uh,
can't get his cookies.
when we do that, that's speaking of that. When we do that, we're supporting a lot of local people to do.
The dollar is going back into the local
Right.
economy. It's not going to someplace in China.
Or it's not
some
going
big
to
city, it's
Louisville's.
not.
Yeah, it's not going to Louisville's shipping place for FedEx or anything like that. It's staying right here in the county.
And it goes back to somebody that they're using that money to send their kids to school. They're using that money to buy stuff that they need.
Sure. And they're using that money to make more products. And God forbid they make enough products and people buy enough products where they have to hire another
Oh,
person
yeah.
and hire another job. We talked about the power of our local economy in one of our other podcasts. I mean, there is nothing more I'd like to see than a farmer's market packed out on a regular basis. So
That's
that
our goal.
everyone who got, and I think with the mobile WIC program, WIC on Wheels, I think if you guys have that and
That's
you're
what I'm hoping.
getting
They can show
Uh,
up there, get their
bingo.
card there, and we're working on that. So I have a meeting Monday. So I'm on it.
And
Go ahead, baby.
one other thing that I mentioned, we talked about this the other day. The vendors that take EBT, they can also take the regular WIC.
Yeah.
We checked that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I tried it, and I threw one girl. We was talking about it. I said, let's try it, just see if it'll go through. And it went through and worked. So we can do that. We also have the WIC double dollars that they get their card from the health department,
Mhm.
and through CFA we have some matching money for that. Senior Farmers Market,
Yeah.
those come through the extension office, or they hand them out. They're through the Kentucky Department of Ag, but we get allotted so many. CFA also gives us some money to match a percentage of that. We should have those in hopefully by next week. Be ready on that. Another thing this year, there's one other farmers market. They are trying a pilot SNAP program. A little different. Some farmers markets used to do SNAP, but whoever's name the machine was in, if it's $5,000 spent, you hit their taxes because it has to be tied to somebody's Social Security number.
Right.
So it showed up as income on somebody.
Oh, geez.
So
They're working that out.
the whites and Walter, my family, we do the EBT cards.
Right.
We've got them set up. And when they come along and somebody buys something with their SNAP or EBT, whatever they want to call it, you say they spend $12 with me, we'll give a receipt. They can go to our voucher person at the farmers market and they'll give them some money. If they spend 12, I think they get $12 that they can spend. They can spend those tokens with any vendor.
Right.
They don't have to come back and spend them with us. They can take those and go buy off somebody that don't have a EBT card.
Sure.
And you can even get tokens for meat and eggs. There's so many that's for produce and vegetables.
Yeah.
It's got to do with how much they spend. And
So
we're one of the 2 pilot programs to do this.
And where's that other one that other market gonna be?
I think it's down in central to the western part of
Okay.
the state. But again, this is something working through CFA, and
Sure.
they've been gracious and helpful, and
So
put up with me being behind on stuff. And
the farmers market is on downtown Pikeville next to the high school. in the
130
lot.
Adams Lane.
And what days are you there?
We're open Tuesday from 4:30 to 7, and we're open Saturday 9 to 1.
9 to 1.
And I will say there's more vendors on Saturday. I will say 70% of our vendors also work a job.
Right.
And if you're a 9 to 5 or something, you
Or
can't
you-
be there at 4:30 on Tuesday.
Right.
I mean, and we understand that.
That's why you come Saturday.
And we're getting more and more people has produce now to sell. More tomatoes are coming, more beans.
Well, I was going to ask you about this, and I'm not sure if you're a dietitian, but I know that
I'm not
Uh,
a dietitian.
Miss
either.
Miss Healthy Bones over here.
We have
I
one.
know
at
you
North
have
Point.
one, but we mentioned a little while ago about beets, and if you do research, when you get older, like I am, not like her, she's
No,
still
I know I'm
18.
old. He's being
Beets are good for your blood. Beets are good for your heart. They're good for your blood pressure and all that other stuff. There are so many natural foods, vegetables that we have access to. Instead of taking a pill, we could eat these types of foods and be better.
right.
And I know we
You're
talked about
talking
that.
about food is medicine, and it's a hot topic right now. Food is medicine.
It is.
That's something that the Mountain Wellness Collaborative, which is the 5 county health directors and associated partners, recently formed, and that we're going to address. We've already been talking about it. A lot of talk around food is medicine or prescriptive meals. WIC, Women, Infant, and Children program, that supplemental food program we've been talking about today, is the original food is medicine program in the United States. The first, it's USDA funded, and the very first office was down in Pineville, Kentucky, in the whole United States. And it's the original food is medicine. But it seems like, everything always kind of cycles
Sure.
back, clothing, fads. But this food is medicine, it's coming back, and there's a lot of attention on it right now.
Well,
Prevention. It's all about prevention.
they say any vegetable that is purple, blue.
Right.
A lot of times we raise a purple potato. And that was on a list of somebody that was taking chemo from their doctor,
Right.
that was one of the items that helps boost
Your immune system.
your immune
Sure.
system.
Yeah.
And the darker the leafy green, the better it is for your vitamin system. I think it was the week before last, I was there and I was getting some stuff, and Pikeville Medical Center was there, and they had these food is medicine recipes.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I started reading them. I'm like, holy geez, these recipes directly coordinate with what they're selling over there.
Yeah.
And that's what
And
they're
many times what WIC will provide
provide.
for working families with children.
And I think that, the collaboration there, and this is what, I'm not telling you what to do with your jobs or what everything, but I will, because you know me, I don't shop.
I know you.
But I
yeah.
think, those types of things that we say, okay, we know that the farmers market for the month of August is going to have A, B, and C. We're going to put these great recipes out there that are quick, easy, and fun for children.
Right.
Give the kids kids bucks out there, and now we have the recipes the kids bucks get, and everybody, the whole family gets involved, and now we're starting to eat healthy.
That's
And
why this partnership's so important.
yeah,
And why Ignite Pike. You have the logo in front of you. Does it say Pike County Health Department anywhere?
it does not.
No,
No.
and there's a reason for that. That was purposeful. Ignite, it like exudes energy, synergy. This is going to be a community collaborative program, a community wellness hub, not a Pike County Health
Sure.
Department hub. It's going to take partners like the YMCA.
MCA.
Our participants are going to get to walk at the YMCA on designated times with Ignite staff, free, no membership required. Farmers Market, free access for everyone, but added benefits for Ignite participants. Partnerships with key providers in the area like Pikeville Medical Center, ARH, Big Sandy Healthcare, many, many others.
Sure.
Restaurants are also collaborating with us. We're working on this, and they're going to identify diabetes-friendly meal items and
And,
meal suggestions.
Yeah, a lot of them now are doing, non-GMO, and they're also doing, what's that stuff with your stomach?
Gluten free.
Gluten-free.
Gluten, yeah.
There's a famous comedian named, he's passed away, but his name is John Panette, and he goes, he's a big heavy guy. He goes, my doctor asked me if I'm allergic, if I like gluten, and John says, I don't know what gluten is, but if it's in food, then yes, I like it because I love food. But gluten could be dangerous to a lot of people, and now
Right.
a lot of restaurants are having gluten free. And I think if we can locally source some of these restaurants to buy stuff from our local vendors to incorporate, gluten free and healthy in the hills meals or
Right.
Ignite Pike
That's
meals.
what this program's about. It's about the synergy of the community, igniting some enthusiasm around wellness and trying to turn, which will be a long-term goal, but to take cultural, turn ideas that are culturally focused.
And that's it. You got to change the culture in order
Yeah.
for us to change the health, because
Yeah.
the outcome, if we do the same thing over and over and expect different results, we're
That's right. Like the diabetes prevention program, fabulous program. It works.
right,
But the way it's presented, how it's presented, where it's presented,
right.
makes it nearly impossible for most people to hang on for an entire year.
But you'll be able to get them there on the
That's
list
the
program,
goal.
So
That's the goal.
And I'll say this on the recipes. We have so many people that we sell them something and you have to sit and explain to them how to fix it. I mean, and some of the recipes could just be basic recipes, and I'll throw this back to a lady, and I don't even remember what her name was. She was talking about making corn on the cob. She's like, how you do that? I'm like, you can put it in water and boil it, or
Yeah.
you can throw it in the microwave for a minute.
Street corn. It might not be quite as healthy, though, those street corn. I made spaghetti squash the other day and took it, and, I tried to avoid starchy carbs and anything that's going to spike my glucose levels. And so, but it's so easy to make it. People realize how easy.
Yeah.
And you just bake it. You slice it in half, wash it first, slice it in half. But of course, you're cooking it. You're not eating it raw, but you bake it and then you just take it out after about 35, 40 minutes. Take the fork very gently. It just comes off like
Just
strings of
remember, put your
spaghetti.
parchment paper down.
that's right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have aluminum.
Aluminum foil.
Yeah, I have aluminum foil.
Yeah.
But anyway, so easy to make. And then I made one with pesto. I made another like more traditional, with marinara. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it was
And
delicious.
if people just
Delicious.
they explore things and get out there, and these phones now, you could go to and Google anything and find whatever you want
Yeah.
and say, give me a great recipe for
Yeah.
spaghetti squash or a beet salad with feta cheese, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, and maybe even some strawberries. Just
But you know what, Jeff? We all three of us here have to remember this. If you're a single mom, 2 or 3 kids,
I happen to be one.
you live out in the perimeter of the county. You don't have a vehicle. You're borrowing maybe
Sure.
from your parents. You don't have a way to get. We have to remember those people too.
Exactly.
And that's why the mobile, Ignite
so
Pike is so important. But we can get them information about the
Right.
farmers market. maybe do a pop-up in that particular community where they
Or
can get there.
when the mobile market is out there this week, they could say, okay, we're going to have this, that, and the
Give
other
them their
thing.
WIC card
Yeah,
right there.
what can we bring you for next week? And I think that's a
That's it.
great
And the
idea.
community health worker, that's why they're so important. They're the navigators, and they
Sure.
will facilitate that between farmers market and that single mother.
Well, I think we have to do a special podcast just for that. So
Yeah.
whenever you get a chance to come back and bring your team with you, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
David, I want to thank you for joining us today. It's very informative. You know, folks, Tammy can't run far enough. She's like Tammy Gump, Forrest Gump. She's always running. She can't do her job hard enough to get the point across on how important it is to change habits to become healthy, to live a different lifestyle so we live longer and we enjoy life and
That's
we
right.
do great things so we have our family. You mentioned a guy who stopped smoking. Well, yeah, we reached that one person, but what about his entire family who now sees that husband, that brother, that father, that grandfather who's now going to
Change-
live longer because he
Changes
quit
lives.
smoking?
That's right.
So that's a whole family you reach because of that. So thank you, David, for being here. Farmers Market every Saturday and Tuesday 4:30,
437.
4:30 to 7, and Saturday 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Go there, bring your kids. Milk the goat that's not going to have any meat, any milk in it. I don't do any of that crazy stuff. I go there looking for stuff. I see a lot of people. It's like an excursion for me. It's like a geocaching hunt for food for me. Tammy, this Ignite Pike program is a fabulous program.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. I can't wait to get more, and I can't wait to see it in action when it comes out.
I'm excited.
And thank you, David, for the Pikeville Farmers Market for collaborating along with the YMCA as well. So I appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you again in a couple days.